I don't know, longer than a month even, because actually both of us were in the States, although separately. So I was in the States for 3 weeks. You were over at Coachella, where Regan was also, who's like on this show a lot. Anyway, I was in the States for a month, so we weren't filming this show, but we used some footage from that and create some episodes. And then over in the States, just had this real up level about wanting to be like super fucking famous. Like I already knew that, obviously, but I decided I want to be Hollywood famous, right? We had a lot of really VIP experiences in LA and in New York, like super high level stuff. And we were in the penthouse at the Cosmopolitan, and it was like $3,000 a night, and we had butlers escorting us everywhere, men in suits, and it was like another level. And both myself and Regan, who's my co-host for Celebrity Insider Secrets, we were both like, okay, I'll just finish this here in the hallway. We were both like, well, this is just how it's going to be now. We need to go to that next level. So we're actually looking at getting our show into Hollywood. She has a Hollywood manager. We're looking at getting into a TV show. We've been interviewing some of the top celebrities, entrepreneurs, leaders in the world, and just really bringing in another level of kind of wealth and fame and unapologetic kind of, you know, badassery, rich bitch type stuff as well, which is super fun and definitely triggering a lot of people. I've been making an effort to be a bit more glamorous. I'm actually trying to put makeup on and getting like some different cool jewelry. I'm doing really low key right now, but I've been doing live streams with like my black lipstick on and just like experimenting with actually not just being the gym chick basically. And then I bought this car. It's a Mercedes CLS, AWG style. It was 130 grand. It's a real fuck off car. It's pretty cool. And I'm also getting a house. We're house shopping at the moment and just finishing off paperwork today actually for that. And it's going to be a 4-bedroom house plus a study right on the water, with a pool. Obviously it is a Gold Coast, and I'm going to do the hustle house in that house. So I'll have retreats there once every month or two for just a couple of kick-ass people who want to come and actually live in the house and work with me and get your videos out and get everything out and actually create the success right then and there, plus have an epic, awesome, indulgent time. So that's like a quick update to what's been going on since we last filmed Cat Letters or Unchained, but Matt's been putting together some episodes from the US trip, so by the time you're watching this, you probably already saw that. We talk about being a relentless motherfucker and doing what it takes to get rich, successful, and have the impact that you want to have in the world. The mindset and the discipline and the determination of doing what it takes. One of the things people wonder the most about me is how the fuck do I do so much, and it's like every freaking day and it never stops. And then there's like the kid thing as well, and traveling, and obviously working out, and clearly I do stuff not just being on the computer. A conversation that I was having this morning with my trainer, Dane, who you've probably seen because he's been on this show, and we were talking about doing what it takes and like what a kind of a crazy, actually like psychologically unsound crazy bitch I am as far as how much work I do. But we got into talking about it, and the truth is he's like the exact fucking same sort of person, right? So, you know, it takes a crazy person to know a crazy person as far as being relentless about success and about business and about life. But we got into this whole conversation around having always been that person, right? Like for as long as I can remember, I was hustling. Entrepreneurs are born, not made. I just think you've either got it or you don't. I totally think you can learn about success and about business and being an entrepreneur, but that's still not the same as being born with it, right? And being born for it. And I am unapologetic about the fact that I was born to rule the fucking world, to make millions, to impact millions, but also to work with clients who are that same 1% person. So as far as being in my community and being a client of mine, but even, you know, following my stuff and joining my programs, I just, to be flat out honest, don't really want you there unless you are that 1% person who knows that she or he was born for more, and you've always known that, right? Like you really would find no benefit following my stuff if your thing was you just want to know how to make money online, or you just want to know how to build a 6-figure business or even a 7-figure business, right? You'll get some tips and strategy, but most of what I would have to say to you is gonna fucking terrify you. We don't stop. I never fucking stop. I live and breathe my business. I work 16 hours a day, 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day, I don't know. I do stop, I guess, and I go and take my kids to the park, or yesterday even went on like a play date with mums from the school with the kids, and it was the most boring fucking conversation I ever had in my life. But I sat there and I did the be a mum thing because my daughter was there with her friends and she was having an awesome time. I must admit, I mostly avoid talking with anybody who's not an entrepreneur or not success minded. That was a rare break from normality. So I'm super self-aware and I'm super disciplined with my self-care, to where if that's going on for me, or if I feel even like anxious or like I'm getting all caught up in my head, then I'll go and have a massage, not just because that's always nice and I'm always sore from the gym, but because to me that's like my meditation time. When I have a massage, I make epic amounts of fucking money afterwards, because I go in there with the intention that I'm gonna clear up my shit, and then I'm gonna go into a high level of creativity, and then I'm gonna walk out again feeling empowered. Every moment that I'm awake, and even I think when I'm sleeping, I'm like blogging in my sleep or something lately, every moment when I'm awake, that everything I'm doing is actually tying into the big picture of the vision that I want to create for my life, right? Like it's maybe less directly connected, but obviously me spending quality time with my kids ties directly into the vision of how I want to be in my life, what kind of life I want to live, what kind of person I want to be, what kind of mother I want to be. To me, it's very hard for me to distinguish between which parts of my life are business and which parts are life. Okay, I just came back from 3 weeks in the States. It was an epic fucking time. There was a lot of first class, super VIP stuff, a lot of money spent, a lot of very indulgent occasions and experiences, and a lot of really cool, fun, and slightly crazy social stuff, especially in Vegas. But all of that was with people who I've actively brought into my life, who are kick-ass fellow revolutionary leaders, friends who are super high-level entrepreneurs. And so we might be out like living it up on the town in Vegas and drinking, and you know, like an unmentionable amount of espresso martinis every night, but we're like talking business and life and success the whole time. And we even live streamed our dinner conversation at one point and just stuck the live stream on the table while we, you know, had dinner sitting over the Vegas Strip and just laughing and carrying on. Everything has to have a purpose and everything has to have a reason. So that being said, I really do spend a lot of time on the computer, and I don't sleep a normal amount. I definitely don't fucking sleep 8 hours. I mean, show me like a multiple 7-figure person who sits around on their ass like watching TV at night and sleeping 8+ hours and just like not working when they're tired. That person doesn't fucking exist, right? People who are at the top, who are super fucking successful, are going above and beyond, and they're doing it whether or not they're tired, whether or not they feel like it, whether or not they know how. So I felt flat and down. I was being a little bit of a princess about it, like a little bit woe is me. And then even when I got into the gym, I was like, ugh, do we really have to do this? And then he started at me with this whole conversation about, oh my God, like you're really doing even more than what I thought, which kind of fired me up a little bit. So it's sort of like, you know, oh, like I need to be patted on the head and told, oh, it's okay, Kat, and you're doing enough and you should rest, blah, 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 which is what a normal person would say. But the reality is that if I were to give into that, and if I were to just basically embrace the fact that I'm tired, that I work hard, I deserve to have a rest, it actually would be like the worst thing ever that I could do. But just the fact that I know from experience that if I gave into that, and then I spent today sitting around embracing the fact that I felt tired and that I need to like rest, I would actually just spiral down more and more and more energetically. Well, the reason that I'm able to do that is because I'm very, very outcome focused. So anytime I don't feel like it, or I feel, you know, unsure of myself, or I have self-doubt like any normal person, or something's maybe not working right, like something's not selling. I mean, that happens to me like anybody, right? Like it's not like, you know, it's not like everything just happens without me having to put the energy and the emotion into it and having to push through my own upper limits or my own resistances and so on. And sometimes things are not selling or not working, and so then I have a choice to make, which is, well, am I gonna you know, give into that and be like, oh, okay, well that didn't work, and you know, I'll go and cry about it to all my entrepreneur friends, and then I'll like, I don't know, fuck around on Facebook for 2 weeks like most people do before I maybe pull my finger out and decide to hustle again? Or am I going to be like, too fucking bad, get off the floor, stop crying about it, suck it up and do the work? Now, I'm like, I have a little, you know, routine. After I do the live stream, I go on, I edit, like if I want to put more emojis on or something to make it look more like catchy, basically. It's all about making it look catchy and stand out on the newsfeed. You got to be to the point when you're selling. There's no point fucking apologizing for selling or being like, oh, I hope you buy it, I hope you think it's cool. If you don't think it's fucking cool and that people need to buy it and you're not okay with saying that, why would they buy it? You do have to be aggressive when you're selling. If you're not going to tell people flat out why they need to buy your stuff, they're not going to buy your stuff. Oh, hi Denise, how are you? All right, so let's talk. I'm gonna do this many times a day, and you kind of have to keep reminding yourself every day over and over again, but then at a certain point, it will just become automated where you won't have to then think about it. you need to build an engaged community. That's the focus. So whether it's through a business page, whether it's through personal page, for example, my engagement there has gone up massively, right? Like I did the live stream just now, half an hour ago, and the reach is already nearly 100,000. There's two things that are going to be critical for you. Number one, you need to be messaging to your community every single day and basically just showing up and being visible. You watch my live streams, you're actively like paying attention to my content. So therefore, you're somebody who's purchased from me and become a customer, not even because I was walking around trying to do fancy sales processes, but simply probably mainly because you follow my content. So messaging is the number one priority every single day in your business. And that essentially means a blog, a video, or a live stream, or a teaching point, or often, and probably more importantly, because this is what will build the community more, is where you share your beliefs, right? So you want to share really honestly and openly what you believe about fitness, what you believe about nutrition, what you believe people need to know and understand. And don't be afraid to say stuff that's going to be controversial. You have to tell the truth about what you actually think, because that's how you'll create a really loyal, ideal client following of people who then resonate with you, think that you're really fucking cool because you're saying the stuff that other people are scared to say, but that you're actually saying something on your social media posts that is getting under people's skin, and that it's kind of speaking to them from a place of, well, you really need to hear this, and it's inspiring them and it's motivating them. So they're basically connecting to you and then actively wanting to learn more from you. How would I do it then? And so you say to yourself, okay, I might say this, and it's like, oh my God, I can't say that. But that's what you would say if you were that fearless person, right? So then you just do it. You just fucking get over it and you do it. And if you need to have like an extra shot of coffee or a glass of wine in order to be able to make that leap the first few times, then do so. It's like a habit, right? Like sometimes I think about the stuff that I put out there and I'm like, oh my God, like the absolute arrogance of it all. But I don't give myself a chance to think about that before I press publish. I'm just committed to doing the work. So I'm acting from a place of, well, this is what I know needs to be said. This is what I want to say. And so I'm going to just put my own stuff aside. I'm just going to like tell it to take a back seat because I've got work to do. Okay, imagine you were Tony Robbins and you had like a big fight with your wife the night before. I didn't sleep all night for some reason and just woke up feeling shit. Like, do you think anybody's going to know that if they're at his event? Part of it is about realizing that when you allow fear and self-doubt to rule you, well, that is a choice, but it's also irresponsible in terms of doing the work that you're meant to be doing in the world. And it's kind of just like, it's a self-indulgent thing to do that's a natural habit, and it's a matter of kind of kicking your own butt around it from that perspective. And in order to be able to do that, you simply ask yourself, well, what would I be saying today if I fully believed in myself?